Hey everyone, and welcome to the Day Trader's Quest, where I'm sharing with you how I'm trading day to day and my quest for profitability, for consistency, for discipline, ultimately to make a better life. My name is Mark, and thank you so much for joining. Today, I'm going to go through my trades for today, Wednesday, March 4th. And whew, it was a day. I'm just going to put it like that. It has been a day. I got into some stocks. I got into some size that I shouldn't have. I'll show with you in a second. We saw some volatility in the market like we haven't seen in a long time, which is really cool. So again, I'm a momentum trader, small caps, and we saw some of that. We saw what was it, VCIG make a move from about $7 a share to $31 a share. There was a CANF that went from what was it, like $5 a share to 11. So we saw some really big moves. And you know what? I didn't trade any of those. I should have. And I think that part of my issue today was I one of the things is I've added more money in my account. So I'm working, I've added enough so that way I can convert this into a margin account. I've been doing on a cash account for the last few months. And so I added more funds. So I had more capital to spend, which I think made me overconfident in levels. And then beyond that, I ended up focusing on a lot of small penny stocks, which I really need to stop doing. Really need to focus in on that $1 or like maybe 150 to $8 range. I get a little worried. There's a little some fear that comes out when I'm above $5 because those swings could potentially, again, if I honor my stop loss, those swings aren't an issue. But if I don't, those swings become a problem. And I've had that issue in the past. So I think the way I need to deal with that is smaller share size. So my goal is max loss on any trade is should be roughly $100. So about 1 hour when I trade 1,000. 10 cents on a stock. You'll see today that I did violate that. And also had a couple losers. I will fess up right away. One of my rules I'm breaking right now, and I'm being honest about it. I broke the rule. Is I do have one stock that I am holding right now. I bought it first thing in the morning. I didn't look at the volume profile. I looked at its movement. I got excited. I jumped in because it was a biotech, good clinical. There was some clinical news coming out. I jumped in trying to anticipate a push up to take a small scalp. It did not give me that. And the volume really was nothing today. And so it, of course, began to kind of go down and down and down. I upped and upped and upped my size, and we are sitting here today. So bad mark. I shouldn't have done that, but it is what it is. I am going to hold it for overnight. I am going to swing that one just because I do see, based off of the historic ranges, I see myself being able to recover that. Does that make me a day trader? No, and that's the unfortunate part. I've broken that rule. I need to not do that. But I also don't want to take a $500 loss right now when I do see that within a week or so that $500 would not be. I wouldn't have to experience that. So we'll see. I've done that in the past, held it, and it's just gone lower. Here's hoping for another news drop, just a little momentum to help push it to where my entry point is. So let's get into it. Let's talk about this. All right. So let's see here. Today, I did finish the day, with the exception of the one I'm holding. I did finish the day positive, nearly $100, which is great. My R factor is 1.39, which I think that's generous. I had some grossly high sized trades that I got lucky with. So let's take a look and see what it is. I did 12 trades today. So we'll go through this quickly because that's a lot of trades. And we'll kind of talk about what they're looking at. So the stock I was mentioning that I'm disappointed in myself with is CMND. CMND, I bought it right at 7:30, pretty much. It had news. It came out. Let's click on it, and then we'll walk through. I have 5,000 shares on it. You can see I added shares here as it was going down, hoping for a bounce up right after the open. Did not get that. It has continued to go down a little bit further. My average price is 127 roughly, and so I'm hoping for 127 here today. So we'll see. Maybe in the after hours I'll get that. Who knows? But it is what it is. So let's continue to move on. So the first trade after that one, AIFF put in a really good move today. I could have traded this a lot better. I think I could have made a lot more money. I made about $300 on AIFF today, uh, and uh, and that was great. But I think I could have made a lot more. I mean, you can see right here, I could have made $100 on this one right here. Actually, if I would have held, I came in for the break. It was a bounce off of. Well, no, it was actually it was a bounce. This is when where it was a bounce off of VWAP as it came down, and then dropped a little bit. It kind of held, it dropped. I doubled down. I when I got to basically a break even, I got out, and of course, look what it did right afterwards. So again, I should not have one. I should have waited on that one. It's not about break even; it's about making money. So I should have done that. And so I've, of course, though, continued to trade this one, which was good. I'm glad I didn't step away from it. So the next one, similar kind of situation. I got this for the break over. In this case, what was that? It was the break over VWAP. I came in, it moved. It didn't move as fast as I wanted it to. So that is why I ended up breaking out a little bit, exiting a little bit faster. Again, if I would have held that one for the break of up to a dollar, that would have been a really nice move right there that I could have capitalized on. What was it, from 82? I could have pulled that all the way. I could have got 2R on that. That would have been fantastic. But I didn't do that, so I need to work on that. The next AIFF one, this one pulled a little bit more. This is work for the break of one. So I got in at 195. I got in at out of 102. This isn't a terrible trade. I could have held it a little bit longer. I should have held it. As it broke, I ended up pulling profit. So about 6.5, cents I pulled. I really need to focus on my profit target, which is my profit target is always going to be roughly 10 cents. I'd like to maybe make 11. So my goal is risk 10 cents, gain 10 cents. And kind of an arbitrary number. I will look at levels and stuff like that too, but that's what I'm looking at. Let's see here. Then made off that after it broke, I made one more trade that got me another $50. So overall, at this level, I think I'm up 200 and 20 some dollars, $25 on AIF, which is good. I then oh no, I haven't, because I did take this drop. I forgot about this one. So like I said, I over traded today. I traded a little too much. So as it came down here, I took the bounce off of VWAP as it came down, and it shot back up. This was the best. This was the second best trade I took on AIFF. First one, the best one will be a little bit later on, and bounced off that. I took that. That was great. Took 27 off that. I then went to go in a little bit longer, hoping I would go a little bit further. Did not work out. I was hoping for it to continue, but it then dropped. I then doubled down or averaged down twice, which wasn't good. And of course, I exited with a loss. If I would have held a little longer, I could have seen that recover. I shouldn't. That's not the right approach. I would, again, once it breaks if I'm on it at $1. When it hit 90, I should have been out for $100 loss. It went all the way down nearly to 80. So I almost saw an almost minus 2R. As I averaged down, I got my average down to what was my final average. It was 90. And so, I mean, that was, but then still, again, I could have rode that back up to $1, actually even higher. So I was disappointed in my trading for that. That at this point, I'm up about $200 on AIFF in the day. Then OBAI. So OBAI hits the scanners, and I'm like, okay, cool. This is again, they've got some news that come out. It's moving, small cap. I see it push. I go in, and there's a bit of a pullback that happens right here, and I take it, and it kind of basically, I get it on its way down. I take it right here. I should have waited for it to try to make a new high. Didn't do that. I then sold, this one I was proud of myself. Actually, I'm going to change this right now. I am going to give that myself a 3-star on that one, because I did honor the stop loss and I got out there at the right time. So I'm good with that. The next one, not so good. Next one, this is where I even broke my overall rule. I got mad because at this point I'm down $100, or I'm down to about $100 profit for the day. Again, I shouldn't be focusing on P&L. That's the problem. I go in and hoping for a pushback through VWAP as it kind of pushed up here. It did not do that. It came down. So it went from 185. It came down to into the 60s. So I'm already almost 2R down. I go ahead and I averaged down to 5,000 shares. and I hold that for a very long time, about almost an hour. And then ultimately, my concern was at the open. This is a stock that's only been on the market for since the beginning of February. It started out in the 30s. It's now in the dollar range. And my concern was is that it would continue to go lower at open. And so I ended up selling right before the open. Kind of wish I hadn't, because look at that. It made a nice little move back up there. I could have made that, but that's again. I'm glad I sold, because if I held it longer and it did go lower, I'd kick myself more. So kind of like what I'm doing on CMND. So let's see here. This was my best one. I would say my best trade of the day, AIFF. This was after the open. I'd come back. It had just punched through VWAP and had kind of it looked like it was potentially pulling back. I got in probably a little too early, but it came down and it, kind of pulled back a little bit. And then all of a sudden it comes up and it just rips up, and I get it right. I sell right at the top, 138, pulling 11 cents out. So this was a great trade. And AIFF, I don't think it really did anything the rest of the. Oh, looks like it actually did come back up later in the day, but that wasn't the best one. My last few trades of the day were kind of gambles. I was trying to, again, I was playing my P&L at this point. This was, we had WFF, which is notoriously one that will pop and drop, pop and drop. I've had it in the past. I got in, averaged out, hoping, because it just made two big moves. I was hoping as it was coming down, it was going to bounce off of the 200 EMA or the 20 EMA on the 1 minute. It did not do that. It came back down. So I averaged down as it bounced off VWAP, and I was able to get out with just a little bit. Again, this is a super cheap stock too. So we're playing in like half dollars. And then I did another one where again it went down. I saw $17 loss. It was a gamble, and I realized I got to step away from this. And so that was the last trade of the day. So if we go back to our day view, you can see here, this is where I ended up. It wasn't my best day. Every day in my journals, I rate myself on a score of 1 to 3, 3 being great day, 1 being bad day. Today was a 1. If it wasn't for my ignoring the stop losses, averaging down, and then ultimately holding CMND, it may have been better. And actually, I probably would have even given myself a good, which is a 2, if I hadn't held CMND. So I can do better. I will do better. That's part of the quest, right? It's part of the journey. I've been doing this for 20 some months at this point, and it's a marked difference between how I traded in the beginning. Because in the beginning, I'll be honest, I blew about $40,000, and that was just being reckless. It was me thinking, again, just like everybody, you come out there, you have some early wins, and they make you overconfident, excited, and then you blow it all on some. And some of it was holding, some of it was I was doing a lot of shorting, and I was getting stopped. I was getting cut out through some momentum moves there. But over the last couple of months, I've really been focused on my discipline. Today was not a good example of that. Today was a relapse day, and so tomorrow, my goal tomorrow is to come in, focus in on a few good trades. Don't trade everything, just a few good trades. And if I can do that, let's say 2R for the whole day, it'll be a fantastic day. So we'll see. We'll play it by ear and kind of go from there. So good luck, everyone. How's you're out there doing it? Good luck on your journey, your quest, on that journey to profitability, consistency, and discipline. We'll see you out there.